What's up, everybody? So I'm here in northeastern Washington. You can see behind me. It's a little overcast, pretty day. Nice little town. I'm here to install the first vault. Gentleman's moving some acreage that he lives on into our trust for us to administer, and we're getting everything set up so that process can happen, just like we said. A couple things that came up recently. So a gentleman called me today from Wisconsin. He was asking me, he was talking about, he's having all these problems and he's having all this stuff with the VA and the federal courts. And I explained to him, I said, listen, and he was talking about grand juries. And I said, grand juries are under common law. You can't have a grand jury until you have the mechanism for a grand jury to work. Okay, and you have to understand something about common law. Common law operates off of trial by jury. So let's think about this for a second. You have a trial, you do a trial, and then your trial has an outcome, and those yays are yays and yes or no's. Those questions are proposed to the jury. The jury decides for that jurisdiction what the law is, and where do you put those records? I mean, do you record them at the civil court? You record them under civil law, under federal law. You record them at the local library. Like, where do you put them? If there's no legislature and everything's done in trial by jury, then where's your depository? Where do you actually keep the records? How do you print the annuals of the outcome of trials? How do you like all this stuff? I keep saying to people, like, none of this stuff exists. Like, none of this infrastructure exists. None of this, nobody's framed this stuff out. Nobody's put this stuff in. Nobody's qualified to do it. Okay? Common law is international law. It's human rights law. It's a law over the land. It's religious law, canon law. That's why they were churches and shit. So, that's what we're doing. We're putting in the mechanisms to be able to put in common law, to be able to put in the operating mechanisms for common law, to be able to move those assets out of the public jurisdiction into the private jurisdiction where they're not subject to civil law and they have a lawyer representing them. You have to have a qualified individual representing them, Just like I said, when I got my International Bar Association membership, and that's under the Court of Human Rights and Arbitration, when they just updated the professional degree, they put my degree under professional right next to Juris Doctorate. That little thing that says LLB, that's me. I have an LLB. Why? Because I'm an international lawyer. I just got an email from the International Bar Association. Latest news from the IBA. Okay? You gotta have qualified people doing this stuff. You're messing with people's land and their property and their stuff. Okay? So, that's something to keep in mind. The second thing I want to talk about, so I got contacted by somebody, and they put me through the process. They asked me all the questions, and we ended up putting a product together, and I sent them an application. They started asking all these other questions. And then just disappeared. I'm going to tell you something. If you think that you're going to contact me and you're going to have me do work and you're going to propose yourself with the intent to move forward, and you haven't educated yourself enough yet, and you do that, and I come to find out that you're doing it because you want to do your own thing and you want to exploit the work that we've done, that this organization's done, you will be permanently exiled and your county will go to the back of the list. That's what's going to happen. You'll be at the bottom list. So you're the last county to go into the system. I don't care who calls. Okay? And we'll tell them why. So I have made my points very clear about I don't tolerate that behavior. I don't put up with people's shit. And there will be a consequence for behavior. If you try that with me, that's exactly what will happen. You will be exiled indefinitely. And there's already a list of people that are exiled indefinitely. Go build your own. Go do your own thing. People didn't spend thousands and thousands of hours and years building this organization for that crap. We're not going to tolerate it. Those are the people we're trying to get rid of. If you identify yourself that quickly, see ya. You're out. All right. Well, I got to go put this vault in. That's what we're doing today. And northeast Washington State will be Washington State territory. It's going to have a vault. They don't have an organization yet, but they got a vault. So God bless. Godspeed.